Good day, everyone. I'm Strawberry Lois R. Cuenca, a first year and student of Doctor of Veterinary Medicine, and I am going to report about phosphorus cycle. Phosphorus cycle, let us know what phosphorus is. The main function of phosphorus is in the formation of teeth and bones. It plays an important role in how body uses carbohydrates and fats. It is also needed to make protein for the growth, maintenance, and repair of cells and tissues in our body. Phosphorus, or the symbol P in the periodic table, is the non-metallic chemical element of the nitrogen family. And at the room temperature, it is a colorless, semi-transparent, soft, waxy solid that glows in the dark. This photo shows the symbol of the phosphorus in the periodic table, and its atomic weight, its atomic number, its electron configuration, name, and other important details. Phosphorus is the 11th most abundant element in our Earth's crust. Phosphorus is honey brand. Today we are going to answer these 5 questions. Where can we find phosphorus? Is phosphorus essential? What is phosphorus cycle? What are the 4 steps of phosphorus cycle? And what does phosphorus cycle looks like? Where can we find phosphorus? Phosphorus can be found in foods and is naturally found in protein-rich foods such as meat, poultry, fish, nuts, beans, and dairy products. Here in the photo is a Starbucks coffee. This is an example of dairy products that may contain phosphorus. Phosphorus found in animal foods is more absorbed easily than phosphorus found in animal foods. Phosphorus is not found uncombined in nature but is widely found in compounds in minerals. An important source is phosphate rock, which contains the apatite minerals. Phosphorus is not found in its pure elemental form on Earth, but is found in many minerals called phosphates. Most commercial phosphorus is produced by mining and heating calcium phosphate. Why is phosphorus essential? Well, phosphorus is not found in the atmosphere, but it still plays a very important role in animals and plants here on Earth. Phosphorus is an essential nutrient for living processes. It is a major component of nucleic acids, both DNA and RNA, of phospholipids, the major component of cell membrane, and as calcium phosphate makes up the supportive components in our bones. Phosphorus is often the limiting nutrient necessary for growth in aquatic ecosystem. Phosphorus is essential for plants and animals as well as the health of microbes inhabiting this soil. Phosphorus is essential element of living things, but in excess, it can cause damage to ecosystem. Excess phosphorus and nitrogen that enters this ecosystem from fertilizer runoff and from sewage causes excessive growth of microorganisms and depletes the dissolved oxygen, which leads to the death of many ecosystem fauna such as shellfish, finfish, and this process is responsible for dead zones or an area within freshwater or marine ecosystem which large areas are depleted of their normal flora and fauna caused by excessive nutrient pollution in lakes and in the mouths of major rivers. presentation, let's have a short icebreaker. So, if you watch Star versus the Forces of Evil, who do you think Star should have ended up with? Is it Marco or Tom? And if you watch the Miraculous Tales of Ladybug, who deserves someone much better? Who do you think? Is it Adrian or Luca? So, let's see the results. Here we go. It seems like Tom shouldn't have ended up. The star shouldn't have ended up in Tom, and who deserves someone better? It says here it's Luca. Oh my God! So yeah, let's continue. So phosphorus cycle. So this is the phosphorus cycle. Phosphorus cycle is the biological cycle that describes the movement of phosphorus through lithosphere, hygrosphere, and biosphere. Low concentration of phosphorus in soil reduces plant growth and shows soil microbial growth, as shown in the studies of soil microbial biomass. Phosphorus cycle, along with the water cycle, carbon cycle, phosphorus cycle is another biogeochemical cycle that is essential on life on Earth. A biogeochemical cycle is a pathway by which a chemical substance moves through a biotic and the abiotic apartments of Earth. So here you can see the phosphorus cycle. Here is the runoff and in organic phosphate, then plants absorption, metabolism or consummation of plant, decomposition, and the cycle goes on and on and on. As now proceed to the four steps of phosphorus cycle, which are weathering, absorption, decomposition, and geological uplift. Phosphorus cycle is a slow process and it involves four key steps. Step 1 is weathering phosphorus. It's found in rocks weathering along with rain breaks down in phosphorus in rocks and it travels to the soil and into the water sources, including river, lakes, and other water sources. Step 2 is absorption by plants. Once in the soil, plants, fungi, microorganisms are able to absorb phosphorus, and they've grown. Some of it also makes its way to come along with the phosphorus. Plants absorb the water along with the phosphorus, and then the animals eat the plants. Step 3. Return to the environment by decomposition. Animals excrete waste or their poop, and decomposers are able to use this phosphorus in the waste material. Furthermore, when the plants and animals die, bacteria convert the organic phosphorus into or inorganic phosphorus in a process called mineralization. And then step 4, sediment to rocks. Some of the phosphorus is buried in sediment which over time becomes rocks and the cycle continues. What does phosphorus cycle looks like? So here you can find the drawing or it's not drawing, it's a photo that we can see here the weathering of rocks. We can see the phosphate carried by water. We can see the phosphate fertilizer runoff from farmland, and we can see the formation of phosphate sediments and the geological uplift, and we can see here the underground phosphate reserve then goes to the absorption of plants, then incorporation by animals, then decomposers, then underground phosphate reserve again, then leaching into the water and geological uplift. Then it it may be become A. Rocks, then weathering of rocks, and the cycle continues. Weathering of rocks and volcanic activity releases phosphate into the soil, water, and air, where it becomes available to the terrestrial food webs. Phosphate enters the ocean via surface runoff, groundwater flow, and river flow. Phosphate dissolved in oceans water cycle into marine food webs. Time for quiz pop. So which is which? It is the biological cycle that describes the movement of phosphorus through the lithosphere, hydrosphere, and biosphere. A. Is it weathering? B. Phosphorus cycle? Or C. Phospholipid cycle? I mean phospholipids. Wala palang cycle. Okay, let's see. Okay, it's phosphorus cycle. The choice number 2. Next is step 2 is blank by animals and by plants and animals once in the soil, plants, fungi, or microorganisms. So what is the step 2? So or what do plants and animals do with the phosphorus? A. Absorption. B. Weathering. C. Phosphorus. It's absorption, our choice number 1. Next, question number 3. Step 3, return to the environment. By decomposition, animals excrete waste, and decomposers are able to use the phosphate in the production of stars, red light, or waste material. It's waste material. What is the symbol of phosphorus? Is it F, P, or PH? Let's see. It's P. So in summary of our report, we can find phosphorus in foods and found in compounds in minerals. And phosphorus is essential for it gives nutrient for living processes, and it is a major component of nucleic acid as calcium phosphate. Makes up supportive components of our bones. What is phosphorus cycle? So phosphorus cycle is the biological cycle that describes the movement of phosphorus through the lithosphere, hydrosphere, and biosphere. So the 4 steps. What are the 4 steps? They are the weathering, absorption, decomposition, and geological uplift. So what does phosphorus cycle looks like? So see the photo. Here we can see the precipitation or the weathering. Then there goes the absorption of plant, runoff, leaching, and the geological uplift. So we're done. Thank you very much. Once again, I am Strawberry Lois R. Cuenca. You can find me on Instagram, Strawberry Ini. And it was my report for Phosphorus Cycle. Thank you so much again for listening.